Feliz día, mis amigos, un saludo muy especial desde la ciudad de Bogotá, Colombia, desde donde se está llevando a cabo el Human Capital Forum, uno de los eventos más importantes del mundo de desarrollo organizacional y por supuesto de crecimiento personal, que está incluido en toda Latinoamérica. El día de hoy tenemos la oportunidad de conocer a alguien que estuvo en ese evento y quien vino desde muy lejos para hablar. ¿Quién es esa gran persona que nos va a engalanar, a honrar con su presencia? Lo vamos a ver en unos minutos. Bien, creo que cada uno de los eventos organizacionales en donde tenemos la oportunidad de compartir con grandes personalidades, pensadores, con grandes experiencias en el mundo corporativo, tienen mucho que ofrecernos y qué mejor plataforma que Nuevamente TV para hacer llegar a tu computadora, a tu iPad o tu teléfono un poquito del conocimiento que ellos comparten en cada uno de sus eventos. El día de hoy tenemos a Bárbara Glantz, es una personalidad del mundo del desarrollo personal porque Bárbara está en el Salón de la Fama de los Oradores en Estados Unidos a través de la Asociación Internacional de Speakers. Por otra parte, Bárbara tiene más de 12 libros, importantes títulos de diferentes temas relacionados con desarrollo personal, encontrar nuestra pasión, buscar nuestra visión, lograr encontrar aquello que mejor calza con nuestras fortalezas, entre tantas otras opciones que ustedes pueden encontrar en el sitio web de ella. Bárbara, además, fue votada como la mejor keynote speaker por la revista Meeting and Conventions. Además, fue elegida como leyenda de speakers o de oradores por el Veteran Speakers Bureau en los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica. Ha aparecido en cadenas televisivas como ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Pax TV, WGN y una lista interminable de oportunidades que ha tenido de mostrarle al mundo, no solamente a Latinoamérica y a los Estados Unidos, quién es ella y cuánto está generando una diferencia para las personas que tienen la oportunidad de conocerla. Bárbara, welcome to Nuevamente TV, our YouTube channel where we have the opportunity to share with the world the possibility to think again, win a new game.
That's great.
Well, today we had the opportunity to see your enthusiasm, not the subject that you were talking about. You are an enthusiast living. So I would like to know what drives you inside. What makes you feel in that way, considering that you have had incredible experiences, in order to name incredible, because some of them has not been the best experiences for some people. In fact, you have lost persons important for you. You have had falls downs. How do you find in yourself that passion, that enthusiasm, that way in order to live your life?
Well, the most important thing, I think, Gabe, is that you have to understand that you always have choices, and that no matter what happens to us, we all have a choice in how we respond. And I tell a lot of stories that are really important in my life, that really remind me that no matter what anybody says or does to me, I always have a choice, and so do all of you out there, in how we respond.
So at the end, it's not what is happening, it's the way like you respond to the things that are happening, right?
Exactly. Because we can't control most of our circumstances, but we always can control the way we react, we respond to them.
Which has been the most difficult moment when you have had to put in practice this that you are talking about?
You know, we had a child who died, and he was buried on Christmas Eve, and that was the most difficult time of my whole life, because everything that I had thought was important in my life changed immediately. And to pick up the pieces and realize that I could either be better or I could be bitter. And I chose not to be bitter. Not always easy. You know, it takes time, but I love that the root words of enthusiasm are entheos, over from God. You know, something bigger than any of us. And I do have a strong faith, and my faith was my anchor as well.
Good. I love that. In fact, it's something that I share with you. In Theos, it's being in God.
Yes.
Nice. Very nice. Now, people a lot of people around Latin America is wondering, how can I find my passion? How can I find a work that makes me feel connected, that makes me feel that I want to do things, that I want to create? What can you tell to all these people that is connected with us in Nuevamente in order to find inner them or outside what they want and how they want it?
Okay, well, first of all, some of us are lucky enough, like you and me,
Yes.
to get to do what we love. But the other choice is to decide to love what you do. And so one of the things I share with my audience is when I work longer term with an organization, I walk around the company and I ask people, what is your work? And the answer that I get probably from all of you out there is a job description or a job title. And so what I want to say to everybody out there is we are all so much more than a job title or a job description. So when I ask what is your work, what I want to know is how is what you do every day making somebody's life better?
Oh, good.
That's your work.
You've seen the things
That's
that you
your
do
work.
every day.
Yes.
Nice.
And so it doesn't matter, you know, if you carry out garbage, if you empty bedpans, or you run the whole organization. And every one of you out there can find a way that your work makes somebody's life better. And that adds purpose and mission and value no matter what you're doing.
Yes, it's true. I agree with living a life with commitment to leave a footprint in the places
Yes.
where you are.
Yes.
Obviously, sometimes you feel that the place where you are is not the best place for your skills, for your strengths, and obviously it's the time to take a look outside. But sometimes when we take a look outside, we say, oh, I'm scared, what do I do? How do I make that first step? What can you tell about it?
Well, part of it is to be very strategic about it and not just leaving quickly, but thinking about it and planning and researching and networking. Networking is probably the most important thing. Talk to everyone that you know and find out, you know, what are they doing, what's happening in their lives, and what's working for them. And that will help you find more of what can work for you. But a lot of it, too, is just you know, for me, as I said, I have a real faith orientation. So it's where does God want me to be? Mm-hmm. And then it's listening, always listening, and being aware of what opportunities might be out there. And we talk about, there's a wonderful quotation that says when God closes a door, he often opens a window, but we spend so much time looking at the closed door that we forget to even look at that window.
Or even the windows that are open.
Yes.
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 I agree with you. The only thing that I could add is that it doesn't matter what kind of religion do you practice.
That's right.
If you can be Jewish, you can be Catholic, you can
Exactly.
be anything. And at the end is your huge concept of God,
Yes.
whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Okay? And
Absolutely.
at the end, basically it's spirituality. And I want to link this with a very important or most important way in order to conceive life, that is spirituality. What do you think is our homework in order to connect with our spirit, with our real spirituality that goes beyond the religion that we practice?
Well, for one thing, I think that all of us have gifts. Everybody has been given gifts. Some are more obvious than others. But I think understanding that God has given you a gift, and with that gift comes a real strong responsibility to use it to make a difference in the world. And it can be as simple as I was telling the story about being in the washroom at the Charlotte airport, and the woman who greeted everyone with, "Welcome to Valerie's Happy Restroom." And she was using her gift to make a difference, and every person left that restroom with a smile. And so using your gifts is part of, for me, finding your spirituality, your connection to any power greater than all of us.
So that means for you that your spirituality is not in a temple, is not in a ritual, goes much more than that or beyond that, and it is part of everything we do every single day?
Absolutely. And it's finding the heart of people, connecting with people heart to heart. I use the Chinese symbol for listening, and you see on one side of the symbol your ear, listening with your intellect, your brain. But on the other side, there are 4 characters: listening with your full personhood, listening with your eyes for body language, listening with your undivided attention, and then the cornerstone of listening is the heart. And so I ask people, are you listening with your heart?
Wow.
And that's one of the ways I think we bring our spirituality into the connection with another human being. Same thing as speakers. Our connection with the audience, comes through our authenticity. My personal motto, as you mentioned, is spreading contagious enthusiasm.
Yes.
And I often just stop with the audience and say, can you tell how much I believe what I'm sharing with you today? It's not a job, it's not a presentation, it's how I try to live my life. And so if we can be that authentic self, then I think we're connected with the spirit that we're supposed
Something
to be.
higher, with a higher purpose.
Yes.
Nice. This is very, very interesting. Please don't go because we still have a lot of things to know about you.
Gente, esto se pone interesantísimo. No te pierdas la segunda parte de esta entrevista en donde vamos a hablar acerca de felicidad en el trabajo. Cómo conseguir ese trabajo que realmente me haga feliz y cómo conectarme con eso que me haga a mí desarrollar mi mejor conexión con mi pasión y mis habilidades. No te vayas, nos vemos aquí en Nuevamente TV, en donde buscamos ver la vida nuevamente como una nueva mente. Bien amigos, aquí estamos con la segunda parte de esta entrevista con Barbara Glanz, quien nos hizo la cortesía de compartir con nosotros un poco de su conocimiento, de esa sabiduría espontánea y hermosa que la ha llevado a múltiples lugares alrededor del mundo. Tuvimos una primera parte de entrevista que si no has visto aún, por favor, revísala aquí en nuestro canal de YouTube de la revista Nuevamente TV. Y bueno, vamos a seguir conversando con Barbara. Barbara, I cannot express in words how much I'm excited about having you here.
Thank you, it's my joy.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about happiness and joy in work. A lot of people think like Rocky Balboa, no pain, no gain. And they are literally living works of pain. And I cannot understand that, but what could you tell to those people that now feel that they don't like their job, they hate their bosses, they don't like what they do? What can we tell to them in order to make them feel a little bit better, or in order to help them, in order to find the path that combine with what they have inside?
Well, first of all, anybody who's working in any organization, to the customer represents that whole organization. So they are the company. And so thinking about, I'm not important, I don't count for anything. You do count for something because you are representative of that entire company. And so maybe you don't like the particular tasks that you're doing, but you can still have that sense of purpose and mission that I am making somebody's life better every day. And as you do that and think about the choices that you have, we spend half our lives in our workplaces. So they should be
Sometimes
places of
more
joy.
than that.
Yes, that's true too. Joy, encouragement, caring, creativity. Don't rely on somebody else to do it. You be the one to start that spirit in your workplace. And many of your listeners probably have heard the story of Johnny the Bagger. 7 million people have watched. It's my story. It happened after I'd spoken. And it's a story of one little guy with Down syndrome who turned a whole organization upside down. And that can be any one of us, any
You
one
have to
of us.
share that video with me in order to put to the people of Nuevamente TV. Nice, I saw it and it's really incredible. I think that sometimes people must conceive their job more or less in the way like Karate Kid. Do you remember Mr. Miyagi?
Oh, sure.
Now people don't know that what they are doing now probably is the learning that they need in order to make something in the future, probably a personal business, probably another job, probably something that can help other people in other contexts they have. What do you think about that way in order to see the life?
Well, first of all, I think we need to focus on the present.
Okay.
You know, we can spend our whole lives planning for the future and never get there and never be happy. So right now, in your sphere of influence, wherever you may be, what can you do to make a difference? What can you do to reach out to other people in some way? And so, you know, instead of thinking about how can I be different? How can I be better? How can I get a promotion? How can I do this in my life? Instead, do the best you can right now at this moment in time. You know, one of the things I learned through tough times in my life was to live 5 minutes at a time. And there were many days I couldn't even think to get through to noon, but I could always do 5 minutes. And what it did was teach me to be fully in the present. And so I am always fully in the present. And that makes that present time so much more powerful that then that moves you forward because of what you've done in the present.
And combining this, the present, with the expectation of a lot of people, majority of people is thinking about when I get this, when I have this, when it happens, when someone change, when. And sometimes that perfect moment never happens, never comes.
So focus on your blessings. I keep a blessings journal. It's just a notebook, but every night before I go to bed, I write down 1 or 2 special things, blessings that have happened during that day. And one of my missions in all my work is to what I say, to whack people's thinking and to have them leave being more grateful people. Focus on what's going right, not what's going wrong. Focus on what you can do, not what you can't do. And if you take that approach to your life, many, many good things will follow.
Yes, and in the case of that people that now are living in a world that is really unsustainable, or in even a country where the situation is really, really complicated and they don't know what to do, obviously they can connect with the spirituality, they can try to make a difference, they can try to leave a footprint, but at the end they say, I don't want to live this much, even more. What can you tell to those people that now are living that desperation, that are living this kind of out of hope?
Yeah, well, I think when you realize that you always have choices, I think that's the bottom line, that, you know, you can choose, even though your life may be falling down around you, you can choose to look for the people that you love, to look for the positive, just someone smiling, someone opening a door. On the airplane last night, a young man, I was trying to put my bag up, and a young man said, here, let me help you.
Even
well,
being
that was a
completely
blessing.
tired.
Yes.
Because now I understand you have even jet lag.
Yes. So it's always a choice. And yes, depression is an illness, and that has to be treated. But I think too many times we allow the situations, we allow somebody else to control our behavior instead of us saying, okay, I have a choice here, and I can choose to either look for the good in my life, or I can choose to be miserable. And that's my choice.
This video is taking longer than I was expecting, because this is really interesting, but I don't care. This is YouTube, this is internet, and the time is for us. So I have 2 more questions, and this is very important. Sometimes people are confused about the meaning of being a good person. Sometimes they confuse being a good person with being bad treated, being not recognized, being under other persons. What can you tell to that people?
I can't control what anybody else does. I can't control anybody else around me. I can only control myself and my reactions. So if that's happening in your life, you've got to let go of trying to change them. You're not going to change them. You know, if you love somebody long enough, if you're kind long enough, you kind of beat them down, and a lot of times they will turn around because they're unhappy, and so they're trying to take it out on everybody else. So you choose to be a positive, happy person, and just make that choice every day.
I think that even adding something to what you're saying is, don't put anybody over you or down you. We're all
equal.
People
We're all
equal, and we have all good things to share. We have good things to value about. So we must not never confuse being a good person with admit things that must not be admitted.
Well, if you remember, I use a model in all my work that's very simple, and it has 3 columns. There's a minus column, a 0 column, and a plus column. And down below it says your choice in every interaction. So if we discount someone, make them feel less important than us, they're going to leave with a minus. And if we just do their business at hand, I call these people slot fillers, it's a 0. But every time we make a human level connection and we say, I see you as a human being, a valuable, important human being, we leave that person a little better because they interacted with us. And I don't care what's going on in your life, you can choose to make your interactions positive, whether it's going through the checkout line at the grocery store or at the toll booth. You know, that's my biggest challenge, is the toll booth. But it's really fun to watch what happens to people when you say, I see you as a person. And people just bloom. They bloom.
I don't expect something perfect
That's
from
right.
you.
That's right.
Good. Well, final question. And I understand that some people think that there is not joy or happiness or felicity in work because it's a work. We have to give results, we have to enhance our performance, we have to create more products, develop more service, etc., etc., etc. But they don't think about the possibility of feel that kind of happiness or fun
Yes.
in doing your job. I think that you don't get old. You don't stop playing when you get old. You get old when you stop playing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
I say to every organization I work with, you need to lighten up. We all need to lighten up. And we need to laugh more. We need to have more fun. And, you know, find the good things that are happening in your workplace. And do fun things. Like, you know what a potluck is?
No.
Okay, we do, a lot of times in the U.S., that's something that we do. People, everybody brings a dish of something for lunch.
Okay.
And so everybody brings something special for lunch. But what I say to people, everybody bring the food you hate the most. And somebody is going to like what you hate. And everybody has fun. They laugh. And silly things like put a smile on a stick. And if you're having a bad day, just walk around with that smile in front of your face. And it'll make everybody laugh. And pretty soon it's going to make you smile too. And so little things that make a big difference.
Barbara, you have no idea how much happy I am of having you here, sharing with the people that follow us into social networks and of course in YouTube. Thank you very much for your time, your valuable time.
And just know you're all blessed and you have a choice every day to live those blessings.
Thank you.
Señores, esto fue una increíble oportunidad de conocer a alguien conectada con su espiritualidad, con su capacidad de divertirse, con su capacidad de hacer cosas nuevas. Como ella misma lo dice, ella no es una mujer joven, pero es una mujer de espíritu joven. Siempre podemos encontrar la forma de conectarnos con un propósito de vida mayor, con un camino mejor o con el mejor aprendizaje para convertirnos en lo mejor que pudimos ser. Como siempre digo, te dejo un caluroso abrazo y hoy con esta increíble invitada nos vemos en Cada Sueño por Construir.